Settle in on the edge of your seats as we present the Elite Eight now on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids, brought to you by the San Mateo Credit Union. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Welcome, everybody, to Quiz Kids. We've had an exciting season, and we're now down to our top 8 teams. The first 2 are in place, ready to compete. Let me introduce them to you now. Over here, we have the Sacred Heart Gators. And they are taking on the Mission San Jose Warriors. It's going to be a great match. Let's meet the Sacred Heart team right now, starting with Sean Hamilton. Sean, you 3 are seniors, and as part of the ancient traditions of Sacred Heart, you have all taken part in the senior retreat known as Kairos.
Yes.
I asked you what you can tell us about Kairos, and you told me?
Not much.
Right.
It's a lot of secrets.
It's a secret, which immediately started me thinking about Lifetime movies about mysterious conspiracies. But really, it's something kind of cool, right?
Mm-hmm. It's very cool. It's very meaningful, and you learn a lot about your peers.
Total general answers, not revealing anything. Thank you, Sean. Robert Dunleavy. Robert, congratulations, first of all. You were accepted to Stanford University.
Yes.
That's good. Whatever. And as part of your experience at Stanford, you're going to be playing on the water polo team.
That's right, yeah.
So what are you doing this summer for that?
I'm going to be training with them 5 days a week to kind of figure out what their team's like and experience.
Wow, so that you'll start out a little wet behind the ears.
Well, I'll be very wet behind the ears.
Well, wet behind the ears. Well, good for you, but congratulations. That should be very exciting. Matt Ferranti, you've taken part in a lot of programs throughout your time at Sacred Heart that involve education and early education, and you've been part of something called the Bridge program.
Yeah. So Bridge is a privately funded educational nonprofit, and it takes like we said, the best kids in the worst schools, buses them to volunteering high school campuses, and there a bunch of TAs and teachers work with them over the summer to improve their English and math skills with the hope that they get into a college prep track in high school and go on to college.
Right, they'll do better on tests, they'll take some AP courses, things like that. That's great, Matt, good for you. Let's get started, give you a chance to earn some points. First, I need you to pick a category, and today's categories are titles, the color of health, and e unum pluribus. What would you like to pick?
Colors, right? I think we're going to go with color of health.
The color of health, all right. I'd like you to name these medical terms with colors in their names. Number 1, it's an infectious disease transmitted by mosquitoes.
Yellow fever?
That is right. They carry hemoglobin.
Red blood cells.
Red blood cells?
Correct. It's the call to treat a patient in cardiopulmonary arrest.
Code red.
Code red.
It's code blue. These cells can be monocytes, lymphocytes, or neutrophils.
White blood cells? Sure. White blood cells?
That is correct. It affects the middle third of the face with persistent redness over the areas of the face and nose.
Cheek.
Yes.
That?
Scarlet fever?
Rosacea. The official name is pneumoconiosis, an ailment common to coal miners caused by coal dust.
Black lung. Black lung?
That is right. And finally, it's the slang name for conjunctivitis.
Pink eye. Pink eye?
Pink eye is right. That earns you 50 points. Congratulations. We'll be back to meet the Warriors. Don't go away. Welcome back, the Mission San Jose team and Jeffrey Lee. Jeffrey, I asked you earlier, what do you want to talk about? And you said you want to talk about Japanese visual culture.
Yes, Japanese visual culture is includes,
manga.
but it's not limited to manga, anime, and
right.
Some novels, light novels, and that's all included in the same broad category. And I've read many of these novels, and they touch upon subjects like drug use, psychotherapy, criminal justice, and
I think I've seen you on the floor of Borders for hours on end.
Yes.
With 100 other people who won't buy them, they just read them.
Yes. Drive them out of business.
Yes, exactly. You did. You did. They're in bankruptcy because of you. Thank you, Jeffrey.
You're welcome.
Raymond Liu. Raymond, you've taken part in Science Bowl, and your school's actually doing very well.
That's correct. We are going to nationals. We won the regional competition a month back.
Congratulations. And where's national? Where
At
national?
Washington, D.C.
And when do you leave?
April 28th.
That would be very exciting. We may have already filmed this one, shown this on TV, and we'll hope you all do very well.
Thank you.
Richard Zhang, you're taking part in the Stanford Math Tournament.
Yes, I did that a few months ago.
You did that, and I understand there's two aspects to it, both the team aspect and the individual aspect.
Yes.
How'd you do in both?
And the team, I think our team finished 5th.
Very good.
And in the individual aspect, I didn't do very well, but some other people from our school won some prizes.
So you learned the strength of collaboration.
Yes.
Right? Good for you. All right, gentlemen, you have 2 categories left. How do you want to earn your points? Through titles or e unum pluribus?
Through titles, please.
Titles. I'm going to name the real or fictional person, and you give me the title by which the person is better known. The title by which they are known. Number 1, Tsugu Akihito.
Emperor of Japan.
Correct. Joseph Ratzinger.
Pope Benedict XVI.
That is right. Benito Mussolini.
Il Duce.
Il Duce, right. Edmond Dantes.
Count of Monte Cristo.
Count of Monte Cristo.
Right. Carissa Cameron.
Is it like Princess of Monaco? Princess of Monaco?
Close. Miss America.
Oh.
Tenzin Gyatso. That's the Dalai Lama.
Ah.
And finally, Albert Alexandre Louis Pierre de Grimaldi. Interestingly, that's the Prince of Monaco.
Ah.
And you end up with 40 points. Congratulations. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We'd like to take this moment to give great thanks to the coaches for both teams. First, from Sacred Heart, Mr. Kevin Morris. And from Mission San Jose, Miss Wenling Sheh. Gentlemen, pick up your buzzers. It's time for the 3-for-all. I'll ask a toss-up question, and the gentleman who answers correctly gets to control that round with their team for that round of questions. Well, we've got a close score, 50-40. Good luck to both teams. Here's your first toss-up. A Simpsons fan could tell you that the 3rd largest cities in both Missouri and Massachusetts. Richard.
Springfield.
Right. For 20 points, Oak Ridge Cemetery in Springfield, Illinois is the final resting place for which president?
Lincoln.
Lincoln?
That is right. And for 40, Springfield, Illinois was originally named for what South Carolina senator and vice president known for his support of states' rights and nullification?
Calhoun.
Calhoun.
You got 40 points. Next toss-up. Stalin, the notorious dictator of the Soviet Union, wasn't Russian. Jeffrey.
Georgia?
Yes. For 20, what is the name of the Russian city from 1925 to 1961 was known as Stalingrad?
What's it known as?
Like right now. St. Petersburg?
No.
It is Volgograd.
Yeah.
Next. The Dutch botanist Hugo de Vries rediscovered the papers of what Austrian monk known for his... Yes, Sean?
Mendel?
Right. What is the term for a trait that only needs to be inherited from one parent in order to be expressed in the child?
Dominant?
Correct. And for 40, what is the term for a trait that needs to be inherited from both parents in order to be expressed?
Recessive?
That is right, for 40 points. After complaints about its nude figures, Daniel de Volterra painted loincloths on the Last Judgment. Sean?
Michelangelo?
Right. For 20, the Last Judgment is located on a wall, not the ceiling of what Vatican building?
Sistine Chapel?
For 40, what body meets in the Sistine Chapel to select a new pope?
The College of Cardinals? Yeah. The College of Cardinals?
You got 40 points. Although they're spelled differently, what name is shared by the leading newspapers in Cincinnati and Philadelphia and a national tabloid? Richard?
Inquirer.
Right. For 20, what name is shared by Houston's largest newspaper and a newspaper in San Francisco?
Chronicle. Chronicle.
And for 40, another supermarket tabloid shares its name with what leading newspaper from Boston?
Gazette.
Gazette?
The Globe.
Ah, yes.
Though not the play's most likable character, he delivers some of the most sage advice in the play with phrases like, neither a borrower nor a Geoffrey.
Polonius.
Laertes and Hamlet get in a quarrel at whose funeral, leading to their duel?
Ophelia.
And for 40, in whose arms does Hamlet die at the play's end?
Horatio.
Correct for 40 points. He was the first president of the U.S. Senate. Robert.
I have no idea. Lincoln.
No.
Absolutely no idea.
He lamented his nearly useless position, but he occupied it from 1789 to 97 before he became president. Who was this Federalist from Massachusetts?
Adams.
John Adams.
Right. For 20, to be president of the Senate, Adams had been elected to what office?
Vice President.
For 40, when Adams became president in 1797, who became the vice president and was supposed to preside over the Senate, but did so with less diligence than had Adams?
Thomas Jefferson.
You got 40 points. Once, golfers called it a double eagle. But what other... Jeffrey?
A hole-in-one?
No. But what other bird is now used to refer to when you take only 2 shots to make a par 5 hole?
Like a phoenix or something? No, it's like a phoenix. It's some weird animal.
A phoenix?
An albatross. What nation was ruled until 1979 by Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who... Yes, Richard.
Iran.
Which branch of Islam is the official religion of Iran?
Shia.
Yes, right. And for 40, Iran Khodro is the Middle East's largest manufacturer of what durable goods?
Durable goods?
Baskets?
Automobiles. Penzias and Wilson's discovery of cosmic microwave background radiation provided Raymond.
Big Bang?
Yes. At the time, the Big Bang was not uniformly accepted by cosmologists, some of whom favored what hypothesis that said that the universe had no beginning?
Steady state.
Okay.
Steady state.
Right, and for 40, on TV's The Big Bang Theory, the 2 lead characters are physicists at what Pasadena University?
Caltech.
Caltech.
And you got that one fast. 40 points. We'll be right back. All right, gentlemen, it's time for the next toss-up. Soccer-playing teens are prone to patellofemoral pain syndrome, a pain in and around what joint? Robert?
The ankle?
Nope.
The knee.
That's right, the knee. According to About.com, what joint is the one most commonly sprained by high school soccer players?
Ankle?
That is right. Runners can also suffer from pulls, tears, and strains to what muscles at the back of the thigh?
No, the hamstrings.
That is right, for 40 points. It came to power after the time of troubles. What dynasty ruled from 16... Jeffrey?
Romanov.
That's right. Who was the last Romanov Tsar executed in 1918?
Nicholas II.
Participating in the First Russian Revolution, this man urged Nicholas to abdicate. Who was this last leader of Russia's provisional government, until Lenin overthrew him?
Kerensky.
That is right. The Wabagong, thresher, mako, dogfish, Matt.
Sharks.
Name the author of the novel Jaws.
Was Richard somebody, I think?
No, it was Robert Benchley. From 1845 to 1847, what author lived in a cabin he built on the shore of Sean?
Thoreau?
Right. Long before 1984, which British author hated his job as a police officer in Burma?
George Orwell?
No, Orwell.
Orwell.
No, you said Orloff. I have to go with that. It was George Orwell. Kazakhstan and Australia together mine half of the world's supply of what element required for nuclear power? Raymond.
Uranium.
2/3 of the world's steel is produced using what fossil fuel?
Coal. Coal.
For 40 points, the first step in steel production is to smelt iron ore in a blast furnace powered by what coal derivative?
Coke.
Coke.
You got 40 points. American emissary Nicholas Trist signed what treaty on February 2nd, 1848? that acquired parts of 7 states and ended the Mexican-American Richard?
Guadalupe Hidalgo.
Additional territory was transferred from Mexico to the U.S. in what 1853 transaction?
Gadsden Purchase.
For 40, the Gadsden Purchase was originally proposed to facilitate the construction of what route, later completed much further to the north?
Continental Railroad.
You got 40 points. Common time means that a musical piece is played, Robert.
4/4.
When a musical number is played in waltz time, what is the time signature?
3/4.
And what's the time signature for a piece played in cut time?
2-2.
2/2.
You got 40 points. A dog dentist could tell you that cuspids are another name for which pointed teeth in your... Yes, Raymond.
Canines?
Right. The average human has how many canine teeth?
4.
And what other teeth with points, 2 per tooth to be exact, are sometimes called premolars?
Bicuspids.
Bicuspids.
That's 40 points. Which London square is dominated by 100... Yes, Sean.
Trafalgar.
In Russian, the name of what main square is Krasnaya Ploshchad?
Red Square. Red Square.
Yes. What piazza in Venice did Napoleon call the drawing room of Europe?
San Marco.
You got 40 points. In a speech in Fulton, Missouri, which former British Prime Minister coined the phrase iron... Yes, Robert.
Winston Churchill.
Starting in 1950, what American-funded service began broadcasting into Iron Curtain countries in Eastern Europe?
Voice of America.
No. It was Radio Free Europe. This element, whose allotropes include a form with 8-member rings, lies... Yes, Raymond.
Sulfur.
The unpleasant smell is not sulfur itself, but what gas?
Sulfur dioxide, right?
No, hydrogen sulfide.
Huh? Oh, hydrogen sulfide.
And the brain's hydrogen sulfide concentration is severely decreased in what severe memory impairing disease?
Alzheimer's? Or
Sugar.
Alzheimer's.
That's right, for 40 points. We must all hang together, or we shall most assuredly all hang separately, was Ben Franklin's admonition to the members of what body? Jeffrey.
Hartford Convention.
No.
No.
You can steal.
The Continental Congress.
Right. His statement is said to have been made at the signing of what document?
Declaration of Independence. Yeah. Declaration of Independence.
For 40, in 1789, Franklin was quoted as saying, "Our Constitution is in actual operation. Everything appears to promise that it will last, but in this world nothing is certain but what 2 things?"
Death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
You got 40 points, and that is the end of the round. $280 for Sacred Heart, $490 for Mission San Jose. We'll be right back.
Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS.
Welcome back. Gentlemen, in our final round, the questions are worth 30 points. We will put 3 minutes on the clock. Good luck to both teams. Here we go. Let the punishment fit the crime is sung by the Lord High Executioner. Along with Coco, Yum Yum, and Pooh Bah, he features in what Gilbert and Sullivan comic operetta? Raymond.
The Pirates of Penzance.
No. Set in Japan.
Godzilla.
The Mikado. Arran, the Isle of Skye, the Orkneys, the Hebrides. Yes, Jeffrey.
Scotland?
Right. In 1906, David Graham Phillips wrote articles exposing corruption in this legislative body. This led to the 17th Amendment, which created popular elections for members of
The Senate.
Right. Photons with a frequency of about 2.45 gigahertz use dielectric heating to excite water molecules in what appliance? Richard.
Microwave?
That's right. Its English name might have you think it's a dairy product, but it's not. What is this deli meat that the French call? Yes, Robert.
Mortadella.
No, that the French call fromage de tête.
Bologna? Salami?
That's like
Head cheese.
Oh.
The will of which African pioneer and empire builder established scholarships for North Americans to... Yes, Jeffrey.
Rhodes.
Which Arab nation with Roman ruins at Jarash and a port at Aqaba is named... Yes, Robert?
Libya?
No. Is named for the river that forms its western border and capital, Amman.
Jordan.
Right. The bone setter's daughter, the kitchen god's wife. Yes, Richard.
Amy Tan.
Yes. What 1876 guidelines named for a U.S. Army major describe friendly amendments, seconding motions, and other points of parliamentary procedure? Robert's Rules of Order. Although most pollination is done by bees, in North America, what tiny birds with long beaks also, yes, Raymond?
Hummingbirds?
That's right. His real name was Aristocles, but he's better known by a nickname meaning broad. Who wrote the dialogues Crito and the... Yes, Jeffrey?
Plato.
Right. He turned down a position offered by King George III. Name this Austrian composer who wrote the Surprise Symphony.
Haydn.
That's right. Captain Ernst Lehmann was at the helm of what ill-fated craft that burst into flames upon... Yes, Richard?
The Hindenburg?
Right. What method of heat transfer with free and forced varieties occurs in the atmosphere and relies on currents? Raymond?
Convection.
Right. In what board game originally published by Milton Bradley could a player finish at either the poor farm or at... Yes, Jeffrey?
Game of Life.
Right. The logarithm of 8 divided by the logarithm of 2 is what integer? Robert?
3.
Yes. A caduceus, a staff topped with wings? Jeffrey?
Hermes.
No. And 2 intertwined snakes is the symbol of what profession?
Medicine?
Right. Because 18-year-olds could be sent to war without expressing their political voice. Yes, Matt?
Vote?
Right. An airplane turns and banks due to the movement of what small control? Yes, Robert?
Bernoulli factor.
No. What small control surfaces on the wings?
Aileron or elevator? Aileron.
Okay, go.
Aileron?
Ailerons is right. That is the end of the game. 400 for Sacred Heart. Mission San Jose wins the game.
Go to quizkids.tv to meet our teams, learn more about the questions on today's show, and to get tickets to see the show in person.
Well, great game, you guys. 400 here with 850. This team will be going to the Final Four. Please join us next week as we meet 2 more of our Elite 8. Bye-bye.
The following underwriters help to make this program possible. The San Mateo Credit Union. Additional support provided by the Burlingame Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and the Knights Templar.